Hello, I'm Aiden Reyes, and this is my presentation over the film The River and the Wall. So, beginning off, in 2017, a group of 5 individuals, Ben Masters, Austin Alvarado, Heather Mackey, Felipe de Andrade, and Jake Clayburgh, trekked through a 1,200-mile, 62 consecutive day journey along the Rio Grande River and subsequent wall borders. And at times, they headed into Mexico, talked to locals from both countries, and observed the huge amounts of biodiversity in those areas. The film focuses primarily on the topic of immigration from Mexico and South American countries into the U.S. and how efficient the border will be in stopping illegal immigration, the inflictions it may have on the wildlife, and the experiences faced by those who choose to come over the border, whether through immigration or drug smuggling purposes. In Texas and American politics, a controversy exists regarding the building of a literal wall that spans across the border between the United States and Mexico. It is evident through the film that the filmmakers are not in support of the building of the wall. The filmmaker, through the documentary, argues that the border is ineffective because the natural terrain around the Rio Grande River will make building a wall very difficult to accomplish. And as a result, in those areas where there's no walls to be built, individuals coming across the border will still pass through those terrains and still make it into the United States. Further, it'll disrupt the local ecosystem through closing off the environment from Mexico and United States, and not allowing life forms such as lions or other animals to cross. And further, it'll disrupt the lives of the people living near the border. But however, out of all of these supporting arguments, the strongest is the one regarding the terrain of the Rio Grande River. So the film is very credible, as it captures the team traversing through extremely rough landscapes that include very tall canyons, muddy roads when raining, and rapidly moving waters that could potentially drown individuals coming across the border illegally. The filmmaker is credible, as they have first and second hand evidence of how challenging the terrain is to get across, subsequently demonstrating that if construction of a wall were to occur, it would require extreme dedication and resource allocation. And as previously mentioned before, if an individual from a foreign country did try to come over to the United States from Mexico or from South America, they would still try to traverse the terrain, as one wall, or matter of fact, no wall, will not prevent them from already traveling through harsh landscapes, as the journey between their home country and the United States was still potentially very rough as well. This makes the wall ineffective, as, again, due to the wall being unable to be built, immigrants will still head over by any means possible. An article from the Texas Tribune highlights this issue further, mentioning that the river will erode at the land over time, so areas of the wall built closest to the river will have to be touched upon later, as once the infrastructure begins to wear out due to the erosion of the riverbanks and them getting closer to the wall, it just causes the planning of the wall to become unpredictable, and it'll cost a significant amount of money to plan and to continue the construction. This Texas Tribune article is credible due to all 3 of the authors previously working at the Washington Post, which is a very reliable source of information. Further, 2 of the articles, Kevin Shaw and Zoanne Murphy, do have experience on the topic at hand, as they both have done extensive creative work in humanitarian issues regarding immigration of all types, making them extremely well versed in the controversy of illegal immigration into the United States. The 3rd author, Samuel Granados, has done several projects around the world, ranging from European countries, Asian countries, African countries, and South American countries. And through this, he has gained an enhanced perspective of how life outside of the United States can differ to those in those countries' homelands, the people who reside in those countries, and their living conditions, if the living conditions in their homelands are poor and unsatisfactory for human need. Contrary to this point, Homeland Security published a report mentioning why the building of the wall is a fair solution to the current immigration problem in context to drug trafficking. So the CBP has seen a 79% decrease in apprehensions in the RGV section of the border since the construction of the wall had been concluded. And in the El Paso, Santa Teresa AOR region, specifically in zones 14 and 15, the apprehensions of drug trafficking individuals have decreased by 60% and 81% respectively when comparing the last half of the fiscal year 20 to the first half of the fiscal year 20, demonstrating that the wall should be implemented and completed along the entire route of the Rio Grande River due to the decreased amount of narcotics that have been smuggled across the border and due to the decrease in amount of individuals who traffic drugs across the border as well. The Department of Homeland Security is an extremely reliable source, making them heavily credible in this area, as they are an official government website that belongs to the United States, which conducts research about issues like this and the economics behind it. So overall, through conducting this research from the film and through outside sources, it is clear that the issue of immigration, its varying solutions are highly debated. Some people may focus on the humanitarian aspects of the situation, while some discuss the implications that illegal immigration may have on the economy and jobs. And even further, several environmentalists speak out about how the building of the wall could disrupt the local ecosystem in the area of the wall and how that can affect the wildlife in regards to extinction or severe population depletion. But it should be understood that there are many different sides to the controversy with many different stakeholders across the board who have different reasons as to why they're stakeholders. And therefore, all the points that a reader, when they watch the film or when they do lateral reading through multiple different sources, they should be looking into them thoroughly before coming to a final conclusion on the matter of immigration and whether or not the border should be built along the American and Mexico border. And these are the citations for the